Hi, my name is Cameron Carlson with AnimeOnLocation.tv. I'm at Ohayocon 2023 with Philip Odango. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. I am doing great here at Ohayocon, my very first Ohayocon, and it's been a blast so far.
So so it says online you started cosplaying all the way back in 2004, building your first cosplay out of trash bags and pizza boxes. Now you run a really successful career, making wonderful productions. You know, it's a 20-year career. I mean, you're obviously debuting this for the first time today, so it's insane, isn't it? Almost 20 years now, going from pizza boxes and trash bags to wonderful embroidery and stitching and facial and everything.
Yes, and I still use pizza boxes and trash bags. The joy of cosplay is being able to work with what you have.
Yeah.
And, sometimes, all you have are pizza boxes and trash bags. But what's also great is that over the last 20 years, I've been able to really develop new techniques and new learnings and build a creative community around me. And I think that's important for everyone to find their tribe in whatever creative community they belong to.
Awesome sauce. Now your work has caught a lot of attention of big game companies around the world. What's that process the first time one of them reached out to you? Like when the very first project, they're like, "Hey, we really like your work. We want to work with you." What went through your mind? Like, what you want to work with me?
Absolutely. The first big feature that I received was actually through Marvel. So right out the gate, being featured on their social medias, I thought that was one very humbling. Since just like many other cosplayers, I'm always still learning, and then to kind of be put on a online pedestal like that, sometimes can be very intimidating.
Yeah.
But then you also have games that you really enjoy. I really enjoyed Dynasty Warriors, and as someone who is of Asian descent,
Yeah.
to be able to represent a character within that game franchise, and so for Techno Games to reach out to me, it was really exhilarating and also an honor.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some of that work and it looked really awesome. So, on your personal journey, you've also completed your degree from Harvard in business. How has that impacted you in your approach to life?
I believe that no matter what school you go to, no matter if you're just a school of life or you go to an Ivy League or somewhere in between, I think what's always important is finding ways of utilizing whatever skills and talents that you have, and also the things that you've learned, and being able to share that forward with whatever community you partake in. Specifically with business and the focus on sustainability, at conventions like this, I run a presentation called The Business of Cosplay, which actually will be presenting tomorrow, and being able to share the insights, learnings, trials, tribulations of any creative type that wants to turn their hobby into a profitable passion. And I think what's important also is that being able to take what you have learned and sharing that with others so that we reduce the barrier to entry for the next generation of makers.
Yeah, like I said, when I was researching you, I was like, you're really awesome, and I love everything we're going to be talking about. Now, in your 20-plus years of cosplaying and costume design, what would you say is one of the hardest things to start with and really tough to accomplish?
Absolutely. I think one of the hardest things to start with is when you first get your first brand deal, because it can be intimidating. My first and really big sponsorships came through with Singer Sewing Company.
Oh, yeah.
So as with a company that's over 170 years old, and then for myself, who is a plus size gay male person of color, for them to reach out to me and offer me an opportunity to collaborate with them, of course, all of my anxiety went through the roof. And I think part of that is learning how to work with your anxiety and turning those kind of fears into opportunities, and try to get out of your own way. We get trapped in that cycle of getting in our own way of our own success, and we sometimes become paralyzed and we fail to launch. And what I've learned over the past 20 years is that sometimes you just need to learn how to work with your stressors, identify them for what they are, and then hopefully be able to open yourself up to opportunities.
Yeah. So now you've run, as we discussed, your success. You've run a very successful workshop making your cosplay. What advantage is there to have that such a large space? Having plenty of mannequins and dressing styles, and then big sewing tables. How does that help you versus and again, coming from literally on a kitchen table with trash bags and pizza boxes.
Absolutely. I think, I believe kind of like this idea of like the room of requirement, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes certain projects require certain structural needs. And this, for example, this last big project that I had was surrounding Encanto, the Disney animated film. And in that project, I've made probably over 40 individual costumes.
Wow.
Since it created all the characters and many of the townspeople as well. So coming from, pizza boxes and trash bags in my kitchen to, a large space, I think what's also important is that, you don't necessarily need to have a large space in order to be successful.
Yeah.
In fact, when I moved from Virginia Beach, Virginia, where I did have, a large sewing studio, and moving to Louisville, Kentucky, I'm literally back in my kitchen.
Oh, really?
And so, despite that, I was still able to create a costume that was made and designed specifically for Mindy Kaling for her new Velma costume.
Wow. So, you also work to make cosplay a fun activity, especially with your initiative with Bros Who Sew. How did this all come about, and how has it been for the fan reaction to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I started that movement roughly around 2016, 2017. And the word bros, it's really all-encompassing. It's more colloquial than anything else. Otherwise it just rhymes with so. But more specifically, it was to help highlight, the fact that the image of a sewist or a sewer, whatever you want to call us, it goes beyond than just what commercial people might believe or the stereotypes around people who sew. And so the campaign and the movement aims to allow sewists who identify as male or men to be able to utilize a hashtag to showcase their own work. And what I've found is that on Instagram alone, there's probably over 1,000 posts using the hashtag where sewists from all countries highlight their work. So I hope that continues. Again, it's all inclusive, so they, them, anyone who identifies, being able to help highlight that sewing is not just for cisgendered women.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's awesome. We want to include everybody in our passions and our joys. So you also have a great honor of being in the Community of National Endowment for the Arts for grants. What does it mean for you to help give those grants to others for the arts?
Absolutely. I mean, to be offered a position with the National Endowment of the Arts for funding arts programs, what it really means is that we're able to take millions of dollars of federal aid and be able to provide that to communities of creativity, whether they're theater groups or small art coalitions, to be able to provide them access to resources, tools, cash, to be able to produce their work. And for me, that's just another way of paying it forward on a larger scale, being able to look at applications from very well-intentioned, very creative advocacy arts groups, and being able to say, yes, we believe in your purpose and your vision and your mission and what you're aiming to accomplish, and let's make it happen. So it's a very rewarding experience, very challenging because there's only limited budget for for grants, and everyone's very competitive. But I think that goes to show that there's always going to be a need for support for the arts, which I advocate. Oh, absolutely. I think that's where what is heart without art, and I think that's where I think like you mentioned, the craft, whether it's stagecraft or costume craft or illusion, whatever it is, and its relationship to cosplay is that I see myself when I do cosplay guesting as really a one-man roadshow. I go on tour, and what is cosplay but really a spectacle. And I think that's where I do appreciate a cosplay as a theater performing art as well.
So there's a lot of connection there.
A lot of connection there. Yeah.
So kind of wrapping things up, now we obviously know this is a new project that you're debuting today. Now the question mark I have for you is, are there any projects you want fans to know about you're allowed to talk about?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I have been out of the cosplay competition game for quite a while because I've had the great opportunity to judge the World Championships, of creativity and just high level cosplay competitions. So I haven't competed myself in a very long time, and I have an itch that I need to scratch. So I am on the lookout for particular cosplay competitions that I can enter.
I was gonna say, Tim of HGC brought that up just this morning as well. He's like, man, I'm getting really itchy to go back to competing.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, because Tim of HTC and I together judge the SuperCon, Florida SuperCon, and so we're like, wow, these are amazing, and just seeing the elevation and the quality of costumes and the different techniques that are employed, it's like, wow, I'm feeling a little bit out of touch because these up-and-coming cosplayers are fantastic, and I can't wait for the world to see them.
Now, wrapping things up, where can we follow you online so more fans can see your wonderful work? Yep. And what message would you love to give to the fans that have been keeping up with you, giving you support since 2004?
Absolutely. I look back at at my cosplay journey, and the I don't want it to sound like hi to my haters, but sometimes that sort of motivation can be inspiring. It can really help you realize the truths about yourself and help you grow into a better version of yourself. So I would say that for the people that have supported me since 2004, thank you for helping build a longer table rather than a higher one, and helping kind of create more change. And where I can be found, you can find me on my website, canvascosplay.com, and I'm also on Instagram at Philip Odango.
Hey, you know what? It was awesome talking to you, learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.